Okay, let's start our this is usually I do a marketing brainstorm, but this month I feel that this relates to, I say in the program, if you haven't completed the program, I say it multiple times, but I say becoming a better marketer makes you a better teacher, and becoming a better teacher makes you a better marketer. And I think maybe that's the biggest discovery that I've had in this whole journey of starting my own business and teaching. I was so terrified of marketing because I'm a speech therapist. I just want to help people. I don't want to think about money or running a business or finding students. But what I found since I started doing my own marketing in 2014 or 2015, becoming a better marketer really does make you a much better teacher. And we talk about that a lot in the program, but this question, I don't even remember where I heard it, but it really resonated with me. And I sat down and I did exactly what I'm going to ask you to do right now. I want you to brainstorm. What does your student need to succeed? So if you're and I'm starting the timer now, we're going to do 5 minutes. If you are not working with students yet, think about the type of student that you would like to work with, or people that you know could benefit from your services. If you are working with students now, think about one of your favorite students, one of the students that you love to work with, that shows up on time, that does the work, the one that the perfect student. What does that student need to succeed? And I want you to brainstorm a list. This list is going to help you with your marketing. It's going to help you, give you some ideas for free content. It's going to give you some ideas for what to say on social media. And it's going to give you some ideas for new activities for your sessions, new homework for your sessions. So it's not something brand new that we're talking about, but presented in this way with this specific question. And I'll show you my answers when we're done with when you're done brainstorming. It brought up a few different things for me. So I hope it does that for you as well. But while you are continuing to brainstorm, I'll share my slide with you. I want to wait to explain how I felt this helped me. But these were a few that I came up with for my specific student. So my ideas, some of them might relate to you, some of them may not. But since I work primarily with actors, I had to think about, what do my actors need to succeed? Got about another minute. And just keep writing down, even if it seems ridiculous. One of the things I find when I'm brainstorming, I tend to censor myself with, oh, that's not good, or that's maybe that. Don't censor yourself right now. Anything that pops into your head, write it down. You can refine it later. But sometimes the best ideas start as a not so great idea that you can kind of tweak. So no censoring, just write down, really think about, when your students first came to you, what did they say? What were their goals? What did they hope to achieve? That's their success, achieving those goals. So what do they need from you to do that? All right, that's our timer. So if you come up with more, feel free to keep adding to your list, but I'm just going to quickly go through mine, just to give you an idea of how I think this is helping, or how this has helped me with both marketing and teaching. So confidence that my students are correctly pronouncing sounds and common words, especially specific to their profession. So from a teaching standpoint, I mean, obviously, I'm going to create lists for them, or I'm going to ask them about their profession and make lists of those words, and that I'm going to record those phrases for them and assign it as homework. And confidence that they're correctly pronouncing sounds, well, obviously we teach that in our sessions. But I could also think about this for marketing. If I'm thinking about free content for my blog, my YouTube channel, or for social media, what if I I could share the audio file that I made for a specific student. So if I met with that, let's say an accountant instead of an actor, and we had a list during our conversational practice, we came up with 15 phrases that he or she or they use in a typical day at work. I do the audio recording for homework. I can share that on social media. I can share that as my free content that week. So your teaching is also your marketing. You don't have to do things twice. You can even edit. If I didn't want to give all 15, maybe I give 5 away for free, right? Okay. The ability to prepare, rehearse, and memorize a script with a general American accent. So for my actors, it's not about just learning the American accent. If someone sends them a script and said, and the instructions say, put this on tape, you have 24 hours to send it back. They need that skill of how to look at the script, analyze it, rehearse it, and memorize it with a general American accent. So that's something I do in my sessions. From a marketing perspective, that's a wonderful blog post. Tips to prepare a script when you only have 24 hours to put it on tape. Do you see how it's the same? Marketing, teaching, they are the same thing. Okay. The ability to create different moods or characters while maintaining an accent or dialect. This has come up a lot in questions. And even if you don't work with actors, a lot of people ask me how I work on intonation, how I work on intonation. And even with ESL speakers. And I kind of do it the same way that I work on creating different moods with actors. So basically what I'll do is get them a script or a short monologue. Or I actually with ESL speakers, not actors, I like to use voiceovers because they are shorter and I don't know, they just seem to, there's less worry about, it's less like a real person speaking sometimes. And sometimes that's good if you're not an actor. But that's just my personal preference. But anyway, I will have them read that little script and I'll say, okay, give it to me now like an excited 7-year-old at their birthday party. Okay, that was great. Now read it to me like you're doing an advertisement for a nursing home. Would that have the same volume, rate, loudness, pausing, level of excitement? Right. And then I'll say, okay, now read this to me as if it were a luxury car ad. What kind of voice do they use in the Jaguar commercials? And I just you come up and you can, if you get a book or do some research about voiceovers, you'll find examples of this. So you don't have to come up with them on your own, but just think of how different people would say these same lines. And that's how we can create these different moods. And that's also how we can work on intonation with ESL speaker. Now read it like you're angry. Now read it like you're sarcastic. Now read it like you've said the same thing 3 times and the person didn't hear you because there's a problem with the Zoom call. Right? So that's acting, but that's also really great for our ESL students. Okay. So that's what that's about. That would be teaching. Marketing. Again, I could write what I just said to you as a blog post or I could do a short YouTube video on how I do it. So again, I can use it for my free content as well. The skill to immediately self-correct in the moment. This requires ear training to fix the mistake and the knowledge to fix it. Obviously, this is what we do in the conversational portion of our sessions. This is the one thing, and that's teaching. But it's also marketing because this is the one thing that our students cannot get from an online course, from a much cheaper app, from a YouTube video, from a group class. The one thing that we can give them that they can't get anywhere else, that they must attend a private session to get, is learning to immediately self-correct in the moment. So you need to say this a lot in your marketing messaging because this is why they should choose you. I can help you become your own speech coach. I will teach you to correct yourself. And the more you correct yourself in the moment, the more that new pronunciation becomes the habit that replaces the old habit. It's that motor learning again. And that's all in the description of how this accent channel method process that we're all using works. Okay. And I've talked about that in a couple of previous lives. And I also added it to the course, but I forget where I added it. So if you need that explanation of the process that we're using, that's really, it's marketing, but it also really explains what makes the process or the method different. You can send me an email and I'll get you to the right place. I just forget where it is. Okay. So that's it. Marketing, teaching, they're the same thing. How can I help? What does my student need to succeed? Ask yourself that question, and it will open up a lot of really great ideas. I think this is a great exercise to do every few months. Because it brought something new to the how we can help question, really thinking about the student.